Our dream would be to have some churches down in Cleveland and other surrounding areas use the same model in their churches, and so this will help them with that support as well. So I'd like to introduce Father Dan. Some of you are from St. Joan of Arc, so you may not know him or you may know him, but we love him here. He's such a blessing to all of us, and thank you for giving your time just to lead us in prayer.
I'd like to begin real quickly, if I've got a couple of minutes, with a story and then go into the prayer. The story is told about a friend of Steve Angrisano's that wanted to go over to Calcutta, India, to visit Mother Teresa. He was in between jobs, and it was a time of transition for him, so he didn't make a big deal about calling there first. He just thought he would show up and say, I'm here to volunteer, and I'd like to meet Mother Teresa and see the work that you do. So when he got to Calcutta, surprisingly, because he hadn't called ahead of time, he got there only to find out that Mother Teresa was out of town and would not be back in the time period that he was there. He said, no problem, I'll go ahead and see what the sisters do, and followed them for a couple of days. One morning, he was just getting up, and he heard a knock at his door, and lo and behold, a very short nun, dressed in full sari, came to the door, and it was Mother Teresa herself. And it kind of startled him, and she said, I understand that you're visiting here and want to see what we do. I want you to come and follow me. And he thought to himself, I haven't even brushed my teeth yet or washed my face, but she wants me to go, I'm gonna go. So the first thing that they did was to go along the streets of Calcutta, and she said to him, I want you to pick up this man, put him in the van, and take him to our place. And the man was filled with leprosy and sores, and hadn't bathed, and he just said, I don't think I could do that. And Mother Teresa said, yes, you can. And so with that, he was kind of rolling up his sleeves so he wouldn't have to touch the guy very much, and he put him into the van, and they took him to Mother Teresa's home to care for the dying, and eventually when they got him there, she said to him, now, I want you to take him to his room, and I want you to bathe him. And the man said, I don't think I could do that. And Mother Teresa said, yes, you can. And so with that, again, he's kind of washing his own hands, and if he had gloves, he probably would have used them to put them on, and he stripped the man and put the man in the bathtub, and she said, now I want you to wash him. And he said, I don't think I could do that. And she said, yes, you can. And so he begins to wash the man, and he said that for just a moment or two, he stared at the man, and he said, and when he looked at him, he no longer saw the man's face, but he saw the presence of Christ. He said the man's face was no longer there. He could just see Christ in the man. Literally and figuratively, he saw the face of Christ. And he said at that moment, he was so startled that he moved back like this, and he felt Mother Teresa's hand on his shoulder, and all she said to him was, you saw him, didn't you? What you do for these young people is that we recognize the face of Christ in them. It really is a beautiful thing to see the interaction that you do with these young people, the joy that you bring to them. And I know that we can say, and the families would say to us, gosh, what great things you're doing for our kids. They love coming to read. But moreover, I think that what happens to us is that we are startled by the face of Christ that we see. The face of Christ that we see in the broken, the face of Christ that we see in the handicapped, the face of Christ that we see in one another as we are caring for the least and the lowly in our midst. So I want to thank you for all that you do for them. I know that these children, and I know that their families see the face of Christ reflected in your service, but I want you also to be able to see the face of Christ in them, because they truly are a gift and blessing to us. As Mother Teresa once said, the sick and the suffering and the poor are a great gift to us because they draw out of us our deepest sense of empathy and compassion and care. In a sense, they make us more human. And I really believe that that's a gift that they give to us, and hopefully a gift that we give to them through this ministry. So thank you again, and let us pray.